this dream.
Ladies and gentlemen, please turn your attention to the area behind home plate. Tonight, the Twins are happy to have a team from the Goodhue Baseball Association with us at Target Field. In 2012, this team lost a dear teammate when Derek Strickland was tragically killed. Derek was an avid baseball and football player as well as wrestler and golfer. Although Derek had a life shorter than most, his life touched many hearts. Derek's father, Jeff, was an assistant coach for the team the year Derek passed away. To honor their teammate, the team continued to hang Derek's number 17 in the dugout for the remainder of that season. The team decided that it would hang the jersey up the next year as well, and they also held it up during all team photos. Tonight, the team is here to honor Derek's legacy one more time by holding up his jersey at Target Field. The Twins thank Derek's baseball team for continuing to honor him as a great friend and teammate. We wish the team the best of luck in the future. Let's hear it for him, folks.
All right, Mark.
Birk, class of 1994, is proud to be from St. Paul. Growing up, Matt walked to school at Goodhue. His parents, Bob and Pam, are devoted Catholics who made sure the family never missed Mass. After spending his freshman year at St. Thomas Academy, Matt transferred to Purdue here in Hall. The encouragement of his friends pushed Matt to try out for the football team that year. For that reason and many more, going to CBH was one of the best decisions Matt ever made. Matt was not heavily recruited for football out of high school. He chose to attend Harvard University largely because he was stunned when he was admitted and thought best to jump on the opportunity before the school realized they had made a mistake. He graduated with a degree in economics and planned to work on Wall Street. His career path changed when the Vikings selected him in the 1998 NFL Draft. Matt became the starting center in 2000. He made 6 Pro Bowls and was twice named All-Pro. Matt and his wife, Adriana, were married in 2002. Later that year, their passion for children motivated them to create the HYPE Foundation, which stands for Hope, Inspiration, Knowledge, Education, whose mission is to provide educational advancement opportunities for at-risk youth. From a small group of students at the Westside Boys and Girls Club, it grew to serve students from all over the state of Minnesota. Matt went to the Baltimore Ravens in 2009. The Birk family and the HYPE Foundation hit the road and spent 4 seasons in Maryland. The foundation continued to grow and evolve, and by 2011, over 100,000 students were being touched by HYPE Foundation programs. For those efforts, Matt was awarded the 2011 NFL Walter Payton Man of the Year, recognizing excellence on and off the field. Matt's football career ended in 2013 with a victory in Super Bowl 47. CDH football coach Rich Callett said this: "Growing up, family and faith were very important to Matt and influenced his life. As a young adult, his family and faith continued to be the cornerstones of his life. He was a family of modest means that shared what they did have with others. Matt used football as a vehicle to give back to those less fortunate. It's so rewarding to watch him do so much for so many, especially today's kids. Matt's football career made me proud. His community involvement and generosity made me even more proud." Matt and Adriana and their 8 children reside in Mendota Heights and are members of St. Joseph's Parish in West St. Paul. Due to Adriana's love for children, the boys are active in the pro-life movement. Matt travels the country speaking and advocating for the unborn and serves on the board of directors at Goodhue Life Center. In his free time, Matt Fide Award is derived from the rising star over Bethlehem, pointing all to the Christ child. Matt's deep faith, service to the church and community, as well as his tremendous success professionally, make him the true rising star. We are proud to honor Matt Birk as the first male recipient of the 2017 Signet Fide Award.
Please welcome Matt Birk, everyone. Thank you very much. I've never been to Goodhue. It's my first time. This is way cool for me. I don't know if I've ever been in a gymnasium so nice. We actually have like real chairs. This is cool. All right, yeah, so I'm an old guy, all right? I'm 42 years old. That makes me super, super old, right? I used to play for the Minnesota Vikings way back, probably before some of you were almost born. Are there any Vikings fans here? We do have Vikings fans, okay. Are there any Packers fans here? Oh, man. All right. Yeah, it's okay. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. I'll speak slowly so they can keep up, all right? All right. No, it's good to be here. I'm very honored to be here, Jeff. Thanks for asking me to come speak, and in honor of Derek. This is really cool. So I'm 42 years old. So I know that seems like ancient to you guys, but it doesn't. No, well, thank you. Thank you. Gosh, you guys are so nice. Thank you. Huh? But it doesn't seem like that long ago that I was sitting where you guys are sitting. Huh? Life goes really fast. It just seems like yesterday that I was sitting there. I remember what it was like to be in school. I have a lot of kids that are in school, and I know one of the things, I liked school. I liked a lot of things about school, but one of the things I didn't like was because a lot of time you kind of had to sit there and be quiet, right? Right? Like I'm kind of a hyper guy. I mean, I like to run around and jump and yell and scream. So let's do this, okay? Because it's a special day. I want to, when I call out your grade, I want you to yell and scream as loud as you can. Is that all right? Just this one special exception. All right? So then we're gonna have so here's what we'll do. When I say your grade, you yell and scream as loud as you can, and then when I go like this, just stop, okay? Because if you don't stop, then we're gonna get in a lot of trouble. All right? So from what I understand, we have fourth graders here, right? Can I hear from the fourth grade? It's pretty good. Pretty good. Okay? There's the standard right there, all right? Fifth grade. Do we have fifth graders here? Oh, fifth grade. That was impressive. What about sixth? All right. All right, sixth. Seventh grade. Let's hear seventh grade. It's a bad year for enrollment, I guess. Seventh grade. We just skipped them. All right, seventh grade. I think you're in last right now, but we'll see how it ends up. Eighth grade. Okay. I don't know. As we get a little bit older, maybe we're a little too cool for school. All right, we'll see. Ninth graders. Are there any ninth graders here? Oh man. Normally the way this goes is we get a little louder and better with each class, but all right, 10th grade. 10th grade here. 11th grade. 12th grade. That was weak. That was super weak. I think sixth grade won. Good job, sixth grade. Way to go, sixth grade. Or maybe fifth or fourth. Okay. Anyways, very cool. Very cool. I'm glad some of you are excited to be here. I'm excited to be here, and you know, I've been very fortunate in my life. Very fortunate because I got to go to school like Goodhue. I know you have great teachers. I know you have a great principal. I know you have a great community where everybody cares about one another, looks out for one another, and helps each other become their very best. You know, football, the reason why I like football, and I played in the NFL for 15 years, the reason why I like football is because it's a team sport. You know, does anybody know how many players are on the Minnesota Vikings or on the Green Bay Packers or on any NFL football team? Does anybody know? 17? 70? There's 53 guys. There's 53 guys on an NFL football team. And every single one of those guys is important because everybody has a role. There's only one star quarterback. There's only one star. Some teams don't have any star quarterbacks, all right? But the Vikings have a star quarterback, and the Packers have a star quarterback. Everybody wants to be the star quarterback, right? Nobody wants to be a lineman. I was a center, right? I was a center. Just so you know, the center, he's the guy that snaps the ball to the quarterback. Now, obviously, he's the most important guy on the field, right? Yeah, he's the most important guy on the field because nobody can move until he snaps the ball. You don't believe me? I knew you guys were smart. He's not the most important guy. He's just as important as everybody else, right? Football is a team game, and life is a team game. And anybody who's been successful in life will tell you, I guarantee you 100%, anybody who's been successful will tell you they got a lot of help along the way. And you guys are very lucky. You're very fortunate to be in a great school and a great community where there's a lot of people invested in you, a lot of people helping you. And I know you all have dreams and aspirations and goals, and that's awesome. You should. But you're not going to get there by yourself. You're going to get there with the help of other people, and you're going to get there by making good choices. How many people know what a choice is? Right? Are choices important? Choices are very, very important. Choices matter because the decisions you make have consequences. Now, a lot of you probably think, well, I don't get to make many choices. You know, my mom makes me get up for school. My dad makes sure I get to school. My teachers make sure I'm in class where I'm supposed to be. You make a lot of choices. And that's what's great about life, is when you realize the power that you have and the consequences that your choices have, you're in control. You're in control of a lot of things. You're in control of who you are. You can't control, you know, who your family is or what you look like, how tall you are, what color your hair is. But you can control who you are. And you can control the effort that you give. You can control how you treat other people. And those are the things that are important in life. It's really not important if you play in the NFL, right? You guys, most of you guys don't even know who I am. You don't know that I won a Super Bowl, and you don't really care. And you know what? I wouldn't care either. I don't really care that much. That's in the past. It really doesn't matter, right? Because somebody's going to win the Super Bowl this year, probably the Vikings, right? Right? Definitely not the Packers. They're not going to win the Super Bowl, right? And those things are fun and they're cool, but they don't really matter. They don't really matter. What matters is how you treat people. What matters is how you represent yourself and your family and your community. That's what people remember. Even in the video, so that's why you remember Derek, because he was a great friend and a great teammate. That's what's important in life. But like I said, this is my first time here in Goodhue, all right? I want to hear a little bit about what it's like here at this school. Now, I'm going to ask somebody to show some courage and some bravery. Can I have a fourth grader volunteer? Oh, you in the red, come here. Come on down. Give him a round of applause. What's your name? Riley. Riley, you ever been on TV before? You've never been on TV?
No.
You ever been interviewed?
No.
Let's pretend. You like to pretend?
Sure.
Yeah. Make believe. Sure. Riley, I want to get to know you. I want to know what it's like in the 4th grade. So let's act like I'm some big time like reporter, and you're Riley, and I'm interviewing you about what it's like to be in the 4th grade here at Goodhue. Okay?
Yeah.
Hold on. If we're gonna be on TV, we have to have a cameraman, right? Or camera woman. Would you like to be the camera woman? Come on. All you have to do is stand there with the camera like this. You won't be the camera woman? Can I get a cameraman or a camera woman? You right there. Come on. Yes. You don't worry. You older kids, we're gonna get to you in a second now. All right? Okay. We'll get to you in a second. Yeah. All right. You ever been a cameraman before? What's your name? Mason. Matt. How are you? All right. So cameraman. Here's how it works. You kind of got to crouch down. You got to act like you're holding the camera here. You know, make sure you got Riley in the frame. All right, he's the star, all right? I'm just interviewing him. I'm the reporter, and he's the celebrity, okay? All right? So here's what you got to do as a cameraman. This is live TV. This is going to be live, okay?
Okay.
All right? So that means that when we're talking, like that's what people are going to see on TV at home.
Okay.
Are you nervous?
Kind of.
Yeah. Don't worry. There's only like millions of people watching, okay? No big deal. So you got to do this. We got to say 3, 2. You got to go 3, 2, 1, and then point to us so we know we're live. Can I crouch down? Yeah. That's better. I like looking up to you. I look up to you, Riley. All right, give it to me, Mason. 3, 2, 1. All right, I'm Matt Birk. I'm here at Goodhue School, and this man certainly needs no introduction. This is Riley. He's in the 4th grade. Riley, how's it going?
Good.
All right. So Riley, what are you studying in school? What are you studying in the 4th grade? A lot of stuff. What's your favorite stuff to learn about in school?
Art.
Art. Awesome, man. Awesome. That's art. That's great. Hey, can I tell you a little story? So when I was about the 4th grade, I played a lot of sports. Do you play sports?
Yeah.
What sports do you play?
Wrestling, baseball, football.
Maybe it would have been shorter if I asked you what sports you don't play. Sounds like you play them all, huh? Pretty much. Just gonna kind of go with the flow here, Riley. It's live TV, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so you like art. So when I was your age, I played a lot of sports, and I did a little bit of art, but I really wanted to learn a musical instrument. Do you play any instruments?
Not yet.
Not yet. That's a good answer. So I wanted to play a musical instrument, and they had sign-ups for the band, and so I was thinking, wow, I really want to sign up for the band. So one day at the lunch table, I told my buddies, I was like, "Hey, I think I'm gonna do the band." And you know what they said?
What?
They said, "Good question." They said, "No, the band's not cool. Like you should just play sports. The band, no, band is stupid." And you know the mistake I made?
No.
I listened to them, and I never did band. And that was, how old are you?
4th grade.
How? You're 9? So that was 33 years ago. Because my friends said it wasn't cool, I didn't do band. And you know what? I regret that a lot. Because it's really hard to learn guitar when you're 42 years old. Do you think it's hard to learn guitar?
Yeah.
I bet it's easier if you're 9 though. So what's my point, Riley? What if somebody's at the lunch table and they said they were going to go out for band? What would you tell them?
Do it.
Do it. There you go. And you know what's really cool about being in the 4th grade? You know what I think you should do? I think you should try as many things as you can. Because you know what? You're never going to know what you like until you try it. You're never going to know what you're really good at until you try it. Riley, I've kind of made this interview about me a little bit. I apologize for that. Is your arm getting tired, Mason? It's getting tired? All right, let's cut filming. You know, back to you in the studio. Hey, Riley, thanks a lot for letting me interview you. I appreciate it, man. All right, thank you. Round of applause for Riley and Mason. You know, I made the mistake. The point is, I made the mistake. I didn't do band because my friends said it wasn't cool. And I was worried about my friends. I mean, we all worry about what people think about us, but I let it affect me to the point where I didn't do it because they said I shouldn't do it. You know, fortunately, later on in life, as it said in the video, when I changed high schools in the 10th grade. And then I had some friends at the school already, and they encouraged me to go out for football. I'd never played football before. I'd played just about everything else, and I wasn't really good at anything. But that's all right. You don't have to be good at things. You don't have to be the best at things. I was just doing it just to play, just to have fun. And they said, you should go out for football. And I did. Knowing what you know about me, would you say it's a good thing that I went out for football? Yeah, it's been a pretty big part of my life. Right? I got to do a lot of cool things. I got to go to college, got to go play in the NFL for 15 years, got to win a Super Bowl, which is that's really cool and fun stuff. But the reason why I started doing it is because my friends encouraged me to do it. And I wasn't very good. I was terrible to start, right? And what do we tend to do when we try something and we're not good at it, right? What do we tend to do? We quit, right? It's really hard to be really good at something right away, right? Successful people fail a lot, but they keep trying, they keep trying, they keep trying, and they get better, and they get better, and they get better. And they also don't quit because people are encouraging them. They're telling them, no, you can do it. You can do it. Keep going, keep trying. You're doing a good job. We all need encouragement, right? You can be one of those people that looks at somebody, and it's easy, like when somebody fails, when somebody trips and falls, when somebody makes a big mistake, it's real easy to make fun of that person, right? That's not really doing any good. That's not doing any good. It's not doing any good for that person, and it's not doing any good for you. What's important, what you should strive to be, is somebody who makes other people better. Because other people matter. Other people matter in life. You know, I have a lot of kids, so I live in this world, right? And what I see is a lot of messages, a lot of things, a lot of commercials, a lot of celebrities, everything says it's all about you. You know, do whatever you want. You know, you should play as much Fortnite as you want, right? No, Fortnite's bad. A little bit of Fortnite, huh? A little bit of Fortnite. No? Hold on, we'll have a Fortnite dance competition in a second. Might be the most popular thing yet. Huh? But be one of those people that encourages other people. Because we're all, I'm gonna tell you something that you may know. We're all insecure, right? We all get nervous. We all have anxiety. We all think we're not good enough, okay? You think that about yourself. The person sitting next to you thinks that about themselves. We all need encouragement. Be someone who encourages other people, who tries to lift somebody up when they're down. That's what good teammates do. That's what good people do, right? And we all need that from time to time. All right, so in the 4th grade, Riley, you're doing art. That's awesome. You're playing a bunch of sports. That's great, all right? And you're going to try as many things as you can, correct? Yeah, all right, good. All right, I want to hear, can I hear from a 9th grader? Can I get a 9th grade volunteer? You can't volunteer somebody else. I need some bravery. I need some courage. Come on. Is this the biggest 9th grader you had? Jeez Louise. How you doing? Blake. Matt, nice to meet you. All right, you're in 9th grade, first year of high school, right?
Yep.
Is it a big transition going from middle school to high school?
You know, not too big, because you're basically a high schooler when you're in 7th grade.
7th grade here, start of high school?
Yeah, it's basically all.
Pretty much, all right. Well, I mean, 9th grade now. I mean, you're a teenager.
Yep.
You were probably a teenager last year, too.
Yep.
You'll be a teenager for a while, right?
Yeah.
A few more years. All right, good, Blake, good. All right, hey, you on social media, Blake?
Yeah.
You got that InstaFace and Snapgram and Yearbook? All that?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I'm cool. I know all the social media stuff. I'm cool. What do you think? You think social media is a good thing or a bad thing?
You know, it can have some positives and it can have some negatives.
Tell you what, this guy's pretty smart, huh? He's pretty smart. It can have some So when you're on social media, you have a choice, right?
Yeah.
You could use it for good, or you could use it for not so good.
That's true.
Yeah. See, I think personally, I agree with you 100%. I think social media can be good, but I think a lot of times it's used for things that aren't so good, and I think it makes it hard to be a kid because I think what you do is right. Like, do you ever post? Like, have you ever failed a test, Blake?
Yeah.
I failed tests too. Like, do you ever post on social media, hey, I failed my math test?
No.
No, right? But if you get an A+ on a test, you might be like, hey, check it out, I got an A on my test.
Yeah.
Right? Or if you go on a cool trip, you'll post that, and it's kind of like, hey, I'm at the Grand Canyon or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Like social media, it's sort of this highlight reel of people's lives.
Yep.
So I like you. You're very succinct, Blake. You're going along. You're going with the flow. So I see. One of the things that, like, an unintended consequence of social media, I think, is that you're looking at it and it looks like everybody else's life is so awesome. And so I think, though it's not why people are doing it. If you're on it a lot and you're looking at it, you're thinking, well, geez, maybe my life's not so good.
Yeah.
Have you ever felt like that?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So, it's always good, but I guess the point I'm getting to is I think it's always good to look around and be thankful for what you have. Do you agree? Do you ever sit around and say, man, I'm pretty lucky, I get to go to a great school, I got great teachers, you look like you might be an athlete, I have the ability to play sports, you have all these other talents. Do you take time to kind of step back and just be grateful for the things that you have?
Yeah.
Well, Blake, I mean, you got to figure it out for a ninth grader, man. You got to figure it out. That's good. That's good. An attitude of gratitude, right? The attitude that we have every single day. That's something that we can choose, is it not? We can choose to say, oh well, look at so and so. They're prettier than me, or he's stronger than me, or she's got more likes on Instagram than me. See, I knew it was Instagram. I knew. Or we can say, geez, I'm healthy, the sun's out, I've got this really great teacher who took extra time to help me. There's always things that we can be grateful for, and that's something that we can choose every day, whether we want to have a great attitude or an attitude of gratitude, or sit around and complain about what we don't have. Right, Blake?
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty zoned out there.
I don't think you're the only one, Blake. You can just say yeah.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Blake. Hey, thanks. All right. So to review, Riley's telling us about choices that we have. We can choose to participate in a whole number of activities, right? Especially when we're young. When you're old, not so much, but when you're young, you can choose to try a bunch of new things. Huh? As you get a little bit older, you get to make a choice every single day when you wake up. I'm grateful for what I have, I'm grateful for what the day brings, or I can complain about what I don't have. All right? Those are two very important choices. Those are two very important choices, the power that you have. The power that you have. Now I need to hear from a senior. Where are the seniors at? Come on. I'd really like a young lady. Come on, you won't regret it. Come on. Round of applause, huh? Come on now, remember, you get to choose your attitude. You get to choose the attitude that you're bringing to this interaction, this interview. Smile. There you go. What's your name?
Brianna.
Brianna. Matt, nice to meet you. Thanks for grudgingly volunteering.
Yep.
Okay, so you're a 12th grader. You kind of ruling the school.
Sure.
It's your last year here, right? It's like this is your year. I'm sure you have some dreams and aspirations and goals in life.
Yep.
Would you, you can say no, would you mind sharing any of those?
Looking into going to the military.
Well, in the military, good for you. That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you for considering that. So you kind of got it. I mean, I remember when I was a senior in high school, I was like, man, I got my whole life in front of me. I'm going to do all these things, and you know, and I didn't, and I was going to be all these things that I wasn't. But it's okay. You got to have goals and dreams, and it's good. Do you ever think about like when we had Riley up here? Do you ever think about that? Riley's looking at you. I mean, every day he probably sees you and your friends and the rest of the 12th grade roaming around.
No.
You ever think about him? Do you look at yourself as a role model?
Yeah.
You do. Yeah. You do. So you're conscious that there's always people, especially younger people, probably watching you, seeing how you carry yourself, how you treat other people.
Yeah.
It's a pretty awesome responsibility if you think about it, right? You guys are. I like it. I like the fact that you're agreeable. That's great. So, what do you think is what makes a good role model?
Someone who's good to people, knows how to do the right thing, not afraid. Elise. Someone who knows how to do.
What you have to say is important. They just want to make sure they hear.
Someone who knows how to do the right thing, how to stick up for people, knows what's right, stuff like that.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's great, and that's kind of what we're talking about. Thank you, Brianna. Thank you very much for coming up here and blowing a smile. Okay, good. Go ahead. Thank you. Thank you. Someone who sticks up for people, someone who does the right thing. You know, we have these millions of choices every day that we probably don't even realize. Sometimes we don't think about the consequences. But there's always people watching you. There's always people watching you to see what you do. I mean, you're all old enough to know right from wrong, right? Right? Right. Yes. Thank you. You're all enough to know right from wrong. And so often we just think about ourselves, but think there's always people watching. And it's never the wrong time to do the right thing. It's never the wrong time to do the right thing, and especially the older we get, you have choices that you can make choices and they can have dire consequences, right? Alcohol, drugs, texting while driving, social media. I mean, I kid a little bit about social media, but what you post on social media, what you do on social media lasts forever. Forever. That might affect you getting a job down the road. It might affect relationships. You guys have big seniors, juniors, sophomores. You guys have big decisions, big choices every single day. And you can make the right choice a million times. And you make one bad choice, and it can seriously affect your life. So a person of character strives to do the right thing, right? We say the word character. Does anybody know what character is? Or there's no right or wrong. Yes, thank you. What? I'm sorry, I couldn't quite hear you. It means that the person is kind or nice to somebody. I would agree. Does anybody else have another definition of character? Nobody? That was the complete definition? Yes, way in the back. Nice or kind to somebody that what? When nobody's watching. Yes. That's a great addition. Character is really who you are. Or like I said, there's a lot of things out of our control. But who you are is 100% in your control. How you treat people is 100% in your control. So think about it. 100 years from now, how do you want people to talk about you? Or how are people going to talk about you? They're going to say, oh, they won a Super Bowl. Somebody are probably going to win a Super Bowl. They went to the moon. They made a lot of money. They were super popular. They were a Hollywood actress. Or are they going to talk about who you were as a person? How you treated other people? That's what's important. Okay? A person of character, they realize that other people matter. Person of character always gives their best effort. They try new things. They try to do their best at everything they do. It doesn't matter about the result. What matters is the effort. The effort you put forth in school, in sports, in your relationships, in your community, with your instrument, in the school play, whatever else you do. Effort speaks to what kind of person you are, not achievement. Aaron Rodgers is a great quarterback. Aaron Rodgers, I don't know Aaron Rodgers. I know him a little bit. I say, Aaron Rodgers might be a jerk. He's not, but he might be. The fact that he's a great quarterback doesn't really matter. What's important is how he treats other people. How he treats others. That's because he's a great football player doesn't mean he's a person of great character. Strive to be a person of great character. How you treat other people, the effort that you give, and then realize that somebody's always watching, right? You can be an inspiration. You can be an inspiration to everybody. It doesn't have to be somebody younger than you. I come here, I see young people. When I have young people volunteer to come up here, that inspires me. Riley, you inspired me. When you raised your hand right away to come up here, that takes courage. You don't know me. You get up in front of the whole school. That inspired me. Huh? I get a little bit nervous too. But you did it, I did it. People of character, they make other people better. They make other people better. That's what's important. That's what we should strive for. It doesn't matter how many followers you have, how many likes you have, if you're voted, most likely to succeed. All those things are fine. But what's important is the effort that you give and how you treat other people. And those things don't require any talent. That's all on you. Those are choices that you have every day. Those are decisions that you make every day. All right? I want you to realize that. When I look back on being in school, there's a couple things I wish I would have done differently. One, I wish I'd have been a better person. I wish I'd have treated more people with more kindness and respect. Because I look back now and I'm not real proud of sometimes of how I acted. And that's part of life. You're going to look back and you're going to make mistakes and you're going to regret certain things. And you go back and you can say you're sorry and try to make amends. But when you make mistakes, also as you go forward, you say, I'm not going to make that same mistake again. They say it's not a sin to make a mistake, but it's a sin to keep making the same mistake over and over, right? So vow here today that right now, going forward for the rest of today, and when you wake up tomorrow, you're going to be a person of character. You're going to strive to be a person of character. Huh? You're going to be thankful. You're going to remember that other people matter. You're going to treat them with kindness and respect, and you're going to give the best effort. And at the end of the day, that's all any of us can do. All any of us can do is try to be the best that we can. And that's good enough. That's good enough. And understand that we're all going to fall short, and we're all going to fail, and we're not going to pile on people. We're going to pick people up when they fall and try to be that inspiration, try to be that encouragement. I want to tell you one story that talks about the power of choices. It's actually two stories. About 100 years ago, there was a guy named Al Capone in Chicago. Has anybody ever heard of Al Capone? You have? Do you know who Al Capone was? Do you know what he was famous for? Being a gangster? Being a criminal? Yes, he was a criminal. All right, in Chicago, he was a bad guy. He was a really bad guy. And he had this lawyer that worked for him. His lawyer's name was Easy Eddie. And Al Capone was doing all sorts of stuff. He was back then there was no alcohol. He was selling alcohol. He would just basically do what's called extortion, where he just go and just basically take money from people, doing all sorts of stuff. Easy Eddie's job was to keep Al Capone out of jail. Al Capone would murder people. And Easy Eddie was really good at his job. And so Al Capone paid him a lot of money. Eddie lived in a big house in Chicago. It took up the entire city block. big mansion, had all sorts of cars, had a big fence around his house to keep him safe, used to throw big parties, had the nicest clothes. He had everything that you could possibly have material-wise. He also had a son. There was a son he loved very much. And it really bothered Eddie, and it ate at Eddie at his heart, because he knew he could give his son everything except two things. He couldn't give him a good name, and he couldn't give him a good example, or he wasn't giving him a good example. So for years and years and years, this bothered Eddie a lot. Finally, to the point where one day Eddie went to the police and he said, "I can give you Al Capone. I know Al Capone's done bad things, and I'll testify in court, and you guys can put Al Capone in jail, and the world will be a better place." And the police kind of laughed at him. They said, "You're going to testify against Al Capone?" He said, "Yeah, I'll do it." And the reason why the police laughed was a lot of people had come forward and said they would testify against Al Capone. But what happened was Al Capone would send his henchmen, his bad guys, and they would scare this person, and the person then would not testify against Al Capone. Or the person would just disappear, meaning Al Capone's thugs would take care of this person, right? But Eddie said, "I'll do it," right? Eddie made a choice, and his decision had a consequence. I'll tell you that in a second. The second story is about a guy named Butch O'Hare. Butch was a fighter pilot in World War II, and he was on this aircraft carrier called the USS Lexington. And it was in the South Pacific, and one day, all of the airplanes took off from the aircraft carrier to go on a mission. And once they got up in the air, Butch realized that whoever was responsible to fill up his gas tank on his airplane, they forgot to do it. So he didn't have enough fuel to get to the mission point, complete the mission, and turn around and make it back. So he radioed his commander, and the commander said, "All right, just turn around and go back to the USS Lexington." Well, Butch was pretty bummed. He was really bummed because that was his team, right? That was his family. They were going out on mission, and he couldn't participate. But he followed orders, and he was flying back to the aircraft carrier, and as he was coming up there, he saw that the enemy planes, the Japanese enemy planes, there was a bunch of them, and they were flying right for the USS Lexington, which was pretty much defenseless, right? All the fighters were gone. So Butch didn't know, he thought for a second, he said, "Well, it's not going to do any good if I radio the aircraft carrier and tell them you're about to get bombed. Like, that's not going to do it. You're in a boat in the middle of the ocean, what are you going to do?" And he knew it wouldn't do any good if he radioed his teammates who were out on the mission, because they were too far away to come back and do anything. So he decided to be brave. And he said, "Well, I'm just going to fight all these enemy planes by myself." And he flew around, and he ran out of bullets. And after he ran out of bullets, he started hitting these enemy planes. He started flying by them and hitting them in the wing and the tail, so then they would fall out of the sky. He was one guy against dozens of enemy planes. And after a while, the Japanese planes, whether they were frustrated or annoyed or whatever, they turned around and left. And Eddie flew down and landed on the USS Lexington. His plane was all beat up and shot up, and he was telling them what happened, and the guys and gals on the USS Lexington were like, "Yeah, right." Well, they actually had video cameras on his plane, and they watched the video, and what he told them was correct. He shot down 6 enemy planes by himself and caused them to turn around and saved everybody's life on the USS Lexington, because he made that choice to be brave, right? Choices matter, and decisions have consequences. So Butch got the Congressional Medal of Honor for his act of bravery. And you know what he decided to do? He decided to keep flying airplanes in the war. And about a year and a half after that, he was shot down and killed in action. Go back to Easy Eddie for a second. Easy Eddie did testify. He lived, he survived, and he testified against Al Capone. And they put Al Capone in jail for a long, long time, and the world was a better place. And about a month after that, they found Eddie in an alley. He'd been shot about 100 times. Al Capone's guys finally got to him. And Eddie made a choice. He had a choice, he made a decision, and there was consequences. Butch O'Hare died in action. But Butch's hometown of Chicago would not let his memory, not let his death be in vain. So they actually named the airport after him. Does anybody know what the name of the airport is in Chicago? O'Hare International Airport. And if you're ever in O'Hare, one, your flight's probably delayed, but two, you can read the whole story about Butch O'Hare and his bravery and how he's a hero. You know what those two stories have in common? Yes. Both died? Yes. Both incredible acts of bravery. Both made a choice. Butch O'Hare was Easy Eddie's son. Easy Eddie made a lot of mistakes, but he did make one good choice, is that he finally did the right thing. And because his son saw him do the right thing, he inspired his son to be a war hero. Never underestimate the power of your choices. And remember to choose well. Choose to be a person of character. Thank you very much. How about a couple questions? We just have a few minutes. I'd love to. Yes, thank you. Will I sign anything? I don't know. If you catch me, I'll sign something, all right? Yes, Anthony Barr.
Can we do this Vikings chant?
You want to do the Skull chant?
Yeah.
Come here. If you're a Packers fan, we don't want you doing this, okay? Huh? I want you doing this. All right, how do you... yeah, Mr. Schofield, whoever you are. All right, you get him going. You lead him. What's your name?
Carter.
Carter. Let's go. You lead the Skull chant. Go.
Why?
Because it was your idea. Come on, you want me to help you?
No.
You don't want me to help you and you don't want to do it? How are the Vikings going to win on Sunday if we don't do the Skull chant? You want to get a buddy up here? You want to phone a friend? Yes, 2 Vikings jerseys. Here we go. No, we're not signing. We're doing the Skull chant right now, remember? You guys are supposed to do the Skull chant. Come on. Do it. It's not that complicated, right? All right, phone one more friend. Peyton, come here, Peyton. Hurry, Peyton, hurry. Don't fall. All right, is 3 the magic number? Can we get the Skull chant done? Let's go. Awesome. See, look at that. Round of applause for these 3 guys. Hey, good job, guys. See, look at the power of choices. 3 guys made everybody do the Skull chant. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yes, question. Do you get to keep the Super Bowl trophy? No, the team gets to keep the Super Bowl trophy. But you get to keep a Super Bowl ring, so that's pretty cool. The ring's not here. Sorry. Yes. My oldest daughter's 16. I have 16, 13, 11-year-old daughters and boys that are 10, 8, 6, 2, and 2. Hold on. Real loud, buddy. Okay, wait, you come here. Yeah, you come here. Who else? Who else got a good Fortnite dance? You. Yeah, you. Hold on. All right. 1, 2, 3, Fortnite. Go. There you go. Take the L. There you go. All right. Thanks, guys. Yes. How many years? I played 11 years for the Vikings and 4 years for the Ravens. I used to be a lot bigger and stronger and younger. Anybody else? Yes. There's a great question. Who inspired me the most? I mean, the most, gosh, I don't know. I mean, I guess I'd have to say my parents, because every day they went to work and made sure that, you know, we had food to eat and clothes to wear and a roof over our heads. And, you know, it's easy when you're playing football, or it's easy when a lot of people are watching you to be a good person and to try hard. But I think it really speaks to somebody's character when you're working hard and doing all those things that nobody notices, right? And then when you're doing it for somebody else. And I think that's, but I had so many parents and teachers and coaches and a lot of people that they didn't have to take an interest in me, but they did, and I appreciate that, and I try to do that as well in my own ways, because the way I feel about them, about all those people that helped me, I guess, you know, my goal in life is to make sure somebody looks back and says, boy, I'm really thankful that Matt did that or took the time or put the effort in to help me do that. To me, I think that's probably about the greatest thing that you can achieve in life, is somebody to say, hey, you really helped me and you really inspired me. To me, I think that's what life's all about. I know you guys got to get back to class. Again, I just want to say thank you for having me, and choose well. Thank you very much.
Another round of applause for Matt Birk. Thank you, Jeff Strickland and Ethan Strickland, for making this possible. A round of applause for Ethan and Jeff Strickland, please. Okay, elementary, you can go back to class, and high school, when the bell rings here in a minute, you can go to your 8th hour class. 7 through 12 football players. 7 through 12 football players, please follow Mr. Poncelet to the media center. Mr. Birk has a little special message for the football players. Have a good afternoon, everyone. High school, please go to 8th hour. The bells might be off. Thank you.